because single responsibility once again. So delete show and update watched, update consumed. Sure, but I think I'm starting to over OOP, over object-oriented programming. Please tell me if that's ridiculous. Feels a bit ridiculous, but also feels like it makes sense to separate it into two. So when you call something, you know what it does. Update consumed. Do we need to pass anything? Yes, we need to pass is dropped. Nothing else aside from that. Oh, and shows, or rather show. Boom, boom. It almost looks worse, to be fair. Update consumed. No, actually I do like this, because now when we look at delete show, we try to delete the show, and then we apply JSON that we made our change, and here it is. Then we try to update consumed, which we should pass show, and is dropped too. That's more readable. However, yes, when you come to this, it's not readable again. Let's try to make this better. So this, so date is till s. So this is the date. Show name is show to title. Oh, we have to remember to put commas here because it's an error function. Date. Show name might be unnecessary. Yeah, but is dropped string as the final kind of thing, and we don't need this anymore because it works here. Okay, is dropped string. Cool. So we get the date. So date, show to title, that's readable, is dropped as a string. Okay, yeah, that's better now. Okay, yeah, cool. That's much better. To set link, we pass show and link. What I mean by that is link and then say one piece and then some link. So we pass everything starting from one piece to let the function take care of everything else. So for that reason, we should separate that into its own thing. Yeah. That once again is not needed. That will just become this apply JSON, yeah. But I'll get to that a bit later. So first of all, show and link, we regex replace spaces if there are any. There won't really be. It's basically for the situation, so one piece, and then I put 2 spaces for some reason, and then the link. Those 2 spaces will become 1 space. It's strange that I implemented this, considering that I am pretty much the only one who's going to use this, I imagine. But I still wanted some level of safety, even if it's not necessarily needed. It's a good practice, after all. We could yeah, I like this idea actually. I want to have a custom function that compresses spaces. So we go to get, or rather, do I have the text? I don't have the text library yet. No, not here. Lib text hk So let's take this, compress spaces, nothing to pass, or rather no, actually very much thing to pass, text, and also let's introduce the ability to compress tabs also. No, that's fucking stupid. Not by default, at least. So by using compress spaces, we're adding readability. Let's go to all, include text, and in app, let's mark this as B, include text as well, so we get the autocomplete. What do you mean mark not set? Oh, you set marks with M and I set it with backtick. Yeah, that works too. Cool. So now we can use compress spaces by passing show and link. Okay, that's nicer. Now we separate show and link into show and link. I was thinking of having compressed spaces somewhere else on a higher level, like in the new method somehow, but no, it's not gonna happen because I don't always pass this, and when I do, it's direct. Yeah. Now, naturally, I want to separate this into its own function, or do I? Yes, I do, still. We could actually use essentially this kind of thing to get both variables. But in this situation, this function should be inside of this function. Essentially, this is going to be a way to explain what I'm doing. Validate, or rather, not validate. Actually, yeah, validate. Validate show and link. We pass show and link. That is there. And return false. No, we should return an empty string. And here we return show and link match. Wait, that's an object. An empty object is still true. I guess we might as well then return false. Now it's more clear what I'm doing right here. I'm validating that. So if match if show and link, what am I doing? I'm brain rotting. If show and link, we get it from validate show and link. Show and link once again. If that, or rather, if that is not true, then we return false. Otherwise, we do this and delete it. Okay, so we validate show and link. If everything went correctly, then we return the match. Here we check that, we get the match. If it's false, we do nothing else. However, if it's true, this if won't do itself, and we just get show and link. Okay. It's maybe over the top and wasn't needed. I am not sure, but this is interesting. Leave a comment with your thoughts on whether or not this is a good idea to do. I'm not sure, honestly. So try shows show. I've seen this. This is validate show. So this is that situation where what I was expecting. If there is no show, then create a blank thing. Should we not do that, like automatically? So get link. Essentially, do I want a show to be created when I try to get the link of it and it doesn't exist? Sure, I don't see why not. So we can use validate show. No, not necessarily. This should be a separate function, a method. Validate show. Create blank show as the parameter for its name, and we'll come back to that. Let's mark this as B. So this, this validate show. Actually, I'm seeing that this is kind of confusing. Validate show and link, validate show, validate show link. I know, let's rename this as input. Yeah, validate input. That's better. Won't be as confusing now. Validate show. I don't remember what it returns or what it does. Validate show. So if false, we don't do anything. No, if false, we create show. If not, then we this create show. Oh yeah, create blank show. And that just operates on the shows object. If there is no show, create it. Yeah, that's actually amazing. And now all we do is this, essentially. Oh wow, that's much nicer. Huh. Well, that's cool. So, creating a new show would be show set, show, and all this. I'm almost impressed by how easy, I guess, it is. Wow. I'm flabbergasted. So shows, this shows get set. So this shows set show. Episode is 0 by default. Link will be blank by default. Downloaded 0. That's kind of all we need, really. Wow. Yeah. You can see just how flabbergasted I am. So this shows show link. You know, code sometimes feels like you're speaking to an infant, and how ridiculous it sounds. This shows show link. It's hilarious. So if there is no show, create it and then set the link. So whatever we do set the link. And that's perfect. So we made our change, apply the JSON. Boom, done. I like this quite a lot. So D27 down. I'm gonna scream. Why does it not automatically do its thing correctly? Rah! Okay. Set episode. Oh, by the way, I forgot to rename it, I think. Yeah. Yeah, just set link. First of all, let's check out whether I call anything from this class that is wrongly named. I'm not. Perfect. Apply JSON and create blank show. Should stay close together because they are small, and that's adorable. Okay. Show set episode. Well, first of all, that is just compress spaces passing show and episode. Same idea. Well, hold on. I check whether there is a match there. I don't care. Why? I most definitely should, and I will now. Validate input show, or rather, yeah, show and episode. Now, if not show an episode match, then return false. Then we return the show an episode match. These two should be here. So we call it here. Match. Oh wow. Whoa, sheesh. I didn't know, or rather I didn't notice how much that naming cluttered stuff up. It's kinda insane. I wanna compress it now. For no real good reason. So, match, or rather show and episode, is now validate input, and we provide show an episode. Oh yeah, I remember how we did it. If not, then return false. I like returning at least some value. You can just put return with nothing after it, and that will work absolutely to get you out of the function, to stop its execution. But it's better to return at least something that you can go off of. Say you call this function and you only want to continue if it succeeded. Well, by returning false or true, you get that ability very easily because, well, like here, you can either get false or true. And if it's false, don't continue. If it's true, do continue. It's really nice. I love it. I don't remember where I got taught that, or where I learned that. But it's really good advice in my opinion. Validate input doesn't only validate the input, it changes the type of the input. So technically it should be called something different, like convert to match object. It technically does two things, so it's not really single responsibility, but at this point I don't care. We don't need this. This is the same thing. We set episode, right? Yes. We do indeed set episode. Same thing. If not this validate show, it's a function, then we this creates blank show. And then and then we do this. We set the episode regardless, because now the show has been created. So it doesn't get created automatically with the episode on the downloaded property, but that doesn't matter because we do that after. If episode is bigger than the downloaded property, which will be 0 by default, then downloaded property is now episode. So essentially the same thing I'm doing here. So it's all good. This can be deleted. I can do so delete inside, but a paragraph. Oh, that's nice. Oh, I love that. This, a big reason why I'm enjoying classes more than I used to is because I recolored the this keyword and it looks very pretty. So that's honestly a big reason why I love classes now. So we check the downloaded property, which will exist regardless. Yeah, it will exist regardless. And we set it to episode if episode is bigger. Yeah, and now we just, why did it, oh, I pressed J accidentally. So this apply JSON and we get an info. Perfect. Let's get this and paste it here and then do that annoying fix again. We don't need this. Cool. Okay, let's continue. Set downloaded. I think that's the last one. Yes, it is. So it's essentially the same thing. So we're gonna do it 3 times. Gonna change things 3 times. However, this is exactly the same. So now I'm thinking of changing, like taking this, still going to be, oh, set link, wrong one, show an episode. In set downloaded, it's also, well, it's technically show and episode. The naming doesn't matter as much. So we will have a method that both of those can access. Validate input. Validate set input. What? Show and the episode. So now we essentially just go here, copy this, D9 down, I am lost sometimes. So that all works. This is no longer a function, or rather doesn't need to be. Can I like inside paragraph? Nope, doesn't work. Why? Oops. Does it need to? No, why would it? So we can press the spaces, then do the regex match. We get the match and we return it. Validate set input. So now it's this, validate set input. Perfect, and we just use it. See how in set link there's a different regex? I'm thinking I absolutely could have the regex as a parameter instead, so I don't have to repeat the code in setLink as well. Okay, I got something funny. Yeah. Wrong! And that's it. Because I got the thought that, oh, in this case it's no show slash link, then it would be no show slash episode, and then no show slash downloaded. Well, it's not a problem if it just says wrong for you to wonder what the hell that means. Matter of fact, how long have I been recording? 1 hour. That's the longest video I've ever recorded. And by the way, usually when I record this long ass videos, by like 40 minutes mark, I am a complete zombie. However, in this case, I'm noticing that I'm a bit more, like, I can still think, and good thoughts in my opinion. I can do the video. So I think I've improved in making videos, which I like quite a lot. So set link. This won't be needed, or will it? Whether it will, you'll know in the next episode of this series, transforming my show's functions into a class. A weird name, I know, but whether I succeed or not, you'll figure out in the next episode.